You have big dreams and exciting goals. You want to be successful and live the life you've always imagined. But there's one big problem. You struggle with procrastination. You know exactly what you should do, but somehow you just don't do it. This makes you feel guilty because deep down, you know you can do much better. These guilty feelings build up day after day, week after week, until you just accept it. Then you decide to try again with a fresh start. You begin with lots of energy and excitement, but soon that old enemy comes back. Procrastination creeps in like an unwelcome visitor who keeps showing up. Your procrastination becomes a daily pattern, and before you know it, you think, I guess this is just who I am. So, how do we break this cycle and finally beat procrastination once and for all? There are many videos on the internet about beating procrastination, but most of them only fix the surface problems, like deleting social media or putting your phone in another room. These tips might help for a short time, but they don't solve the real issue. The main reason behind procrastination can be explained with one simple word: inertia. In science, inertia means that objects sitting still want to stay still, and objects that are moving want to keep moving. This is Newton's first law, and it applies to our tasks just as much as it applies to physical objects. Starting any task, no matter how small, requires an initial push and some energy to overcome inertia and get moving from a complete stop. Here's exactly what happens. We make this first push seem so big and difficult in our minds that we choose to avoid the task entirely. Instead, we distract ourselves with easy, instant pleasure activities like scrolling through social media or watching videos. To beat procrastination, we need to break through inertia, and there are two ways to do this. Starting is always the hardest part, so make it as simple as possible by lowering the pressure and taking the tiniest step forward. For example, if you tell yourself, I need to write a complete 8-page assignment, the inertia feels too strong because the task seems huge. But if you tell yourself, I'll just write 2 sentences, the inertia becomes much weaker, and it's easy to begin without forcing yourself or feeling overwhelmed. Another powerful technique is the 3-minute rule. When procrastination hits and you don't feel like doing something, just tell yourself you'll work on it for only 3 minutes. Then you can stop if you want. For example, if you don't want to organize your study space, set a timer for 3 minutes and organize until it goes off. Here's the amazing part. You'll usually continue working longer than 3 minutes or write more than 2 sentences. This happens because objects in motion stay in motion. Once you overcome inertia and start moving, you build momentum, and this momentum carries you forward much longer than you planned. At first, starting feels like pushing a heavy ball uphill, but once you overcome the inertia and get past the difficult beginning, it's like that same ball rolling downhill, smooth and effortless. That's exactly why the initial step must be small and manageable. You can apply these two methods to beat procrastination in any area of your life: fitness, schoolwork, personal projects, or relationships. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. And remember what Walt Disney taught us: the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing.